Hey everybody, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now, for those who haven't been following me lately, Clover has been the main character in several episodes on Princess Sofia's TV show, like Blue Ribbon Bunny, Finding Clover, Clover Time, Bunny Swap, along with The Great Pretender, and A Hero for the Hoodwinks. However, for today's blog, I'll be looking over one more episode centering on our favorite Blue Ribbon Bunny. Airing on television on May 12, 2017, this is The Crown of Blossoms. And now, on for the plot of the episode. It's time for the Festival of Plenty, and this year, Sofia is the Princess of Plenty, which means she gets to wear the Crown of Blossoms, which contains magical seeds that can grow a garden of veggies very quickly. When 3 magical seeds fall from the crown, Clover uses them to make his garden grow vegetables faster, and he refuses to share his veggies with his friends. However, what nobody knows is that the Crown of Blossoms was made by Gnomes a long time ago, and 2 of them are out to claim it back. So, what do I think? Well, in my personal opinion, this episode was decent, but it's not one of my personal favorites in this season. And to further explain what I mean, let's move on to Mustang notes. Now, there's not too much trivia to say, except for the fact that the moral of this episode is, it is always important to share, which is another lesson that I know about ever since my childhood. As for the animation, well, as usual, Toei on CGI is excellent as usual, and I think the Festival of Plenty seems like a pretty interesting event in this show, due to it being somewhat similar to the annual Royal Rice Plowing Ceremony in Thailand. And I think the magical vegetables look very delicious. Anyway, for those who haven't seen this episode, the Festival of Plenty is the annual Enchantian Harvest Festival, where the chosen Princess of Plenty begins the ceremony by planting a magical seed from the Crown of Blossoms into an empty field, which quickly produces a crop of giant delicious vegetables. Also, years ago, the Crown of Blossoms was found by King Roland's grandma lying in a big strawberry patch. Nobody knows who made it, but it was discovered that when a seed from the crown was planted in the ground, all the crops in Enchantia grew better, faster, and more delicious. Which is the very reason why the Princess of Plenty plants a seed into the ground to cause the same effect every year during the festival, and reminds everybody to be thankful for what they have. However, due to this sun-shaped symbol, the crown also has a deeper backstory, which I'll get to in a few minutes. And now, let's talk about the episode's song, The Right Wrong Thing to Do, sung by Clover while debating with himself to give the seeds that fell from the Crown of Blossoms back to Sofia. To me, the song's rhythm is very catchy, and the message is very understandable. Unfortunately, it kind of goes downhill by the end of the song, due to Clover showing his greed and addiction to the magical vegetables after planting the crown's seeds. And now let's move on to the characters and the voice actors who brought him to life. Our main character, Clover, is voiced once again by Wayne Brady, who was in Clifford's Really Big Movie, Stuart Little 3, and Food Fight. In my eyes, Clover is still a sassy and lovable rabbit. However, during this episode, after 3 magic seeds fall from the Crown of Blossoms, Clover becomes addicted, greedy, and rude, refusing to share his veggies with his friends and causing him not to think straight. However, while he was easily tricked by Malachite and Fig, and that he lied to Sofia, I thought the part where he helps get the crown back by tricking the 2 gnomes with magic vegetables makes up for all that. Next is Princess Sofia, voiced by Ariel Winter. Best known as young Kyrie in the Kingdom Hearts game series, Marina in Jake and the Neverland Pirates, Macy in Winx Club, a few of Thumper's sisters in Bambi 2, young Trixie in Speed Racer, Marlene in the complete version of Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, Penny Peterson in DreamWorks' Mr. Peabody and Sherman, and Smurf Lily in Smurfs The Lost Village. To me, Sofia is still a kind, compassionate, and helpful princess, and during this episode, Sofia has been chosen as the Princess of Plenty for the Harvest Festival, which was her dad King Roland II's idea. Also, I feel like Sofia's role in this episode is kind of similar to her role in the Clover Time episode, due to her showing a serious and responsible personality. Also, this was the second episode where I've seen Sofia become disappointed in Clover for the trouble that he caused. However, I am glad that at the end of the episode, she was able to forgive Clover and offers a deal to Malachi and Fig. Next is Sofia's sister, Princess Amber, voiced by Darcy Rose Byrnes, whom was Ike in The Legend of Korra, Maricela in Spirit Riding Free, along with Desperate Housewives and Big Shot. Now, in the past, Amber has been the festival's Princess of Plenty, mostly due to the crown being pretty and magical, but in this episode, Amber hopes to coach Sofia on how to be the new Princess of Plenty, since she loves to tell people what to do, and she helps Sofia get ready. In my eyes, Amber can be a bit bossy, kind of like how she was in Tea for Too Many. Plus, she has a whistle and harshly blows it several times in Sofia's face when she is not doing something right. However, I thought it was pretty funny when Sofia blows said whistle to calm her down while she was freaking out. And I liked the part where Amber stalls the festival with James's help. The last characters to talk about are Malachi and Fig, two gnomes voiced by Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan, whom were both in Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings trilogy. In my opinion, they are smart, sneaky, manipulative, fast, and crafty gnomes. After they are drawn to Enchantia by magical pollen courtesy of Clover's magical vegetables, these two gnomes trick Clover into leading them to the Crown of Blossoms so that they can take it. But later, after Sofia and Clover trap them, they tell her that the crown is theirs and that her great-grandma took it from them by mistake. They also tell her that their people have been suffering ever since, due to the fact that they live on land that's so infertile and they need the crown to make their crops grow big and juicy. Thankfully, Sofia decides to make a deal that will benefit everybody with her parents' approval, which is to let the royal family use the crown for the Festival of Plenty. And now on to my final words. Overall, The Crown of Blossoms is an okay episode, but it's still not one of my personal favorites from Season 4. Sure, the animation is great, and while the episode does feel a bit rushed, I like how it takes on the idea of addiction. The main character Clover was greedy and rude, but he was still relatable. I mean, if you were in his paws, you wouldn't think straight either. Princess Sofia does show a bit of seriousness and responsibility due to her being the new Princess of Plenty, and the gnomes are sneaky and manipulative characters, but their history with the Crown of Blossoms also makes them interesting and sympathetic. Lastly, I kinda like how the episode teaches viewers the value of sharing. As for my rating, I'll give it a 77% out of 100. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me for my next blog, where we return to the island of Swallow Falls. Mustang Power.